What's going on, guys? I'm back with another video, and this technical analysis is going to be important. If you guys watch my previous video, I'm going to mention a lot of things in this video. So if you guys remember, we had this rising wedge and we finally broke, and I called this that we're going to probably head back down. And I also mentioned that there is order block in here waiting to be filled, and we are slowly keep hitting to it, and we finally broke below and finally met this area. So there is still a chance of Bitcoin going higher and start going lower, because the lower point around this area would be around $61,000, 200-ish, $61,000. And that could be the next area to watch. And if we go to 8-hour chart, 8-hour chart will show you guys another order block that it needs to be filled around this area, almost, yeah, as I said, the 61,200-ish. So we could still go lower. We could go a lot lower and have a really sharp hit to almost $58,000 and start going higher. Because if you go to daily chart, we had this hit to this blue line one time and a couple of times around here. So we could still go and hit this area, get a support, but we need to make sure that it's going to be supporting around this area. I had this line for a while around $57,000, 57,700-ish, because we had this daily close candle. We could get a support around this area. And USDT, I have been showing you guys and updating you guys with the USDT dominance and how it is showing exactly the opposite mirror of Bitcoin. And you guys see that is still looking bullish. We could go up to this level. I'm gonna get rid of this. If you remember, I told you guys that if once we get to this area, we might get rejected. So we did. We had a little bit of pump. We got more support around this area, and it started pumping again for USDT dominance. So USDT dominance, that means that Bitcoin is getting sell off for altcoins, and we are going towards this 5.22%, which is almost the last part of this the resistance. There's another, this green area, this green candle could be another support for, resistance for USDT, which we had all these hits to this area. So we could see a sharp going higher, and that would bring down Bitcoin down to these areas. And we need to make sure that USDT is going to get rejected again, same as this area. Right, so once we see a huge red candle getting rejected for USDT dominance, that means that we're gonna probably head back down. And if you guys remember, I mentioned that once we get a support around this area, we might start going higher for Bitcoin. So that's gonna be a bullish scenario for Bitcoin. And we might start going lower, almost down to this area, to hit this red support, which if we get the continuation of that, would be the lowest point for USDT dominance. Actually, we need to go higher around almost this area. So 3.74%. USDT dominance could actually go to this area and hit this area and have a little bit of consolidation and even go higher. And that will be a very bearish scenario for Bitcoin. And that means that Bitcoin is going to go around here, have a little bit of consolidations or ups and downs around this area, and even break lower. And the next target for me would be almost $53,000 for Bitcoin. Okay, so there is still a chance for either way, because we do not know, honestly. We have to just watch and see. So this is a very crucial area for Bitcoin. It does not really look that bullish yet. We might have to see once it gets to around this area, and if it does, we need to see a huge candle that is going to be green, and it has to get support around this area. If it doesn't, we're going to go see a lot lower prices for Bitcoin. And if I'm going to compare this area to where we hit $64,000 for the first time in previous bull market. So you guys see that we had this 3 waves up, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves up, and we had this almost crash, I would say, because it's like from 64,500-ish down to 46,000, or almost $20,000 drop, $19,000 drop. And we had a little bit of pump for Bitcoin, but it had a lot of resistance again, and it started dropping even further down. So if we go back to this area, you guys can see a lot of similarities. It's not exactly the same, but we had these 3 touches to this level, and he finally failed even lower, and he had a little bit of pump, so we could see Bitcoin going down. So you guys can see the similarities around this area, same as when we were around $64,000 for the first time. So if we break down and if we lose all these supports around this area, you could see a lot lower. But I'm still expecting to get support around this area, have another pump, which would make sense to you for USDT to lose dominance, go back down to 3.74%. And after we have this touch, we need to see a support same as this right here that we had for USDT dominance. And if we have this sharp support around this area, and if we go higher, we might even make a new all-time high. So it's still, both scenarios could happen. But as I said, I am still bearish long term. For long term, I would say like several months from now, we see all these candles, weekly candles, are closing red, same as this area, same as this area. And when we have a bunch of these reds, although they are very small, they have small bodies, but they are considerable. So we need to really watch for to see that, and then what the next candle is going to do. We had this new candle open today, and we need to see that how it's going to play out. We could go down to almost this 55, 56, $56,000 area, and we need to see even 55, $54,000 area. And if we get a support, we might see going higher, because we had these two touches, and the third one we need to see how it's going to play out. But as I said, we had this pump, huge pump. Bitcoin has been late for a correction, a significant correction, because none of these were really more than 20-25%. So we had a lot of these corrections in the last bull run, and we saw that Bitcoin almost dropped from $64,000, almost 700, to down to $28,000, almost dropped in half, like more than cut in half. So if you consider almost 50% for this drop from here, so if we consider 50% drop for Bitcoin, Bitcoin could go down to at least almost $54,000. Okay. And if you guys remember, I had told you guys that we have another Ichimoku cloud around $43,000. So it is totally understandable and possible that we could go back down to $43,000 for our bigger correction. And after that, I'm going to update you guys that what I see in the charts, that what I think is going to happen for Bitcoin around this area. But it's too early to call it. But as I said, all these red candles are not a good sign. We saw a lot of these smaller bodies, but after we had lost the last support around this area, we had all these sharp drops. So if we have even pass around this area, we might start going a lot lower. So, and USDT dominance, as I told you, as I warned you before, we see a lot of support for USDT dominance, and worst case scenario for USDT is we're gonna go back down to have cut kind of a little bit of consolidation, same as this area for this area, and we're gonna probably go higher. And if you notice, we are on 4.89% USDT dominance. We went higher from 3.78%. That's a significant hike for USDT dominance. That means people are scared. People saw that ETF did not really have too much effect. Bitcoin really went high after ETF news, even though I was expecting that it was going to be a selling event. But Bitcoin could make it up to 73, almost $74,000 area. But we see this weakness, and USDT dominance is having a lot of support. So I am expecting to go a lot higher. And if we go to almost back to this area, almost 9.3%, that's going to double for USDT dominance. So if we cut everything for Bitcoin and altcoins in half, that Bitcoin is going to be in trouble, and altcoins, of course, altcoins as well. And I'm repeating this again, in the previous bull market, before we started rallying, a lot of altcoins that they're big now, like ADA, XRP, other altcoins, they were dead. They were dead around this area, although we were getting closer and closer to all-time high. Everything started pumping, having the real pump after we passed the previous all-time high, right? So we had this consolidation for almost a month, and it started having this bigger candles, but nothing we see similar, although we even broke higher than the previous all-time high. Bigger investors are trying their best to confuse everyone, so it's going to be hard for anyone to guess where the market is going. But as I said, we have got way too high, way too early, and this still looks for me that we are going to have a huge, bigger correction. But the first target I'm waiting for is going to be almost $52,000, $53,000 area. because of this red candle that is we had this rally base rally. So if we go down to this area, we could get a support and temporarily have another high, same as what happened around this area. We had this sharp drop, Bitcoin recovered, and it started dropping more. So we could see the same thing, and we're gonna probably go back down almost to $43,000 area. None of these are financial advice. Do your own research. A lot of people still do not want to listen, do not want to consider it. It is fine, but as I said, watch your investment, have your money management, and make sure to like and subscribe. And I don't know why people are leaving the channel. Although everything I have been saying is happening, it's exactly the same from long time ago. I think I should have not even warned anyone about lower prices, because everybody hate to hear. I guess they do not want to relive the reality. I guess they just want me to say all positive stuff, but I'm not going to when I see Bitcoin is in trouble. So we could see at just the summary, we could go back down to $57,000, and if we get support for Bitcoin and rejection at the same time for USDT dominance, because we had these rejections a lot of times, so it could be totally normal to have another rejection going back down, and that will pump Bitcoin from this area a lot, almost to a newer all-time high. And then I'm gonna update you guys that what I'm gonna see from the chart, and I'm gonna tell you about it. So make sure to subscribe, to stay tuned, and hit the notification button. And my videos are time sensitive, because I have started making TAs, micro TAs for lower time frames, and it might be helpful for you guys. So this is just another update for you guys. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will be back soon. Peace.